We will have a panel discussion with various industry leaders who will share their expertise and knowledge and vision for the future of our industry. May I request Mr. Prashant Deka, Managing Director, Reiter India, a company which has been very successful in manufacturing in India, and we would like to hear from him his experience and his views on how we should go about it. Mr. Prasanta Deka, the floor is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. All respected guests and delegates. I am very grateful to the ITME Society and the organizers of this event to give me this opportunity to share with you because we were one of the company who took a plunge on Make in India in the beginning when the roads were not very smooth. It was rough. So it's a very short journey I will take you through. But before I do that, I think I would like to tell you that, 2-3 important things. One is that Make in India is not, something which we tell to our foreign investors that come and make in India. It's not only that. It's kind of a whole, whole ambient, atmosphere in the manufacturing industry that anybody should try to make in India, whether it is, a foreign company or an Indian company. And we being a manufacturer since last 15 years, today we are recognized as one of the Indian manufacturer actually, not anymore a multinational. So that's the way you can transform yourself. So going to the journey. So in 1995, we founded Reiter India. This is, quite a few years back. We almost completed 31 years. In 2000, we had applied for manufacturing license that we would like to manufacture in India. At the time, we did not have any infrastructure, but we thought first apply, get the license, and then go for an infrastructure. And it took 7 years for us to get a manufacturing license. So I tell you why in my last slide. Then in 2007, we got the manufacturing license, but meanwhile, something good happened. In 2005, Reiter took over a company called Susan Asia, and out of this global takeover, we got the factory of Susan Asia in Pune. So I think our task got much easier. We were not willing to invest further on infrastructure, so we developed this Susan Asia infrastructure, and we started to manufacture there. So we rolled out machines starting from 2009. Then in 2011, we had one more factory, which we made as a plan of, as our master plan. But then we realized having 2 factories in 2 ends of the city doesn't have a logistics advantage. So we consolidated in one location. Then in 2015-16, we expanded. In 22-23, of course, we acquired Sorer, Sorer part of the business as far as winding. And then now this year in February, Reiter acquired Barmag, Orlicon. So we are expanding globally as well as in India. Now, what was our journey in this factory? In 2009, we rolled out with manufacturing of draw frame and ring spinning. 13, 14, 15, and up to 16, 17, we increased our capacity to a level of almost 180,000, 40 odd draw frames, 25 combers per month. Then in 2024, a big thing happened. We became a product hub for Reiter. Product hub means complete R&D for one of the machine, ring spinning, is now globally done only in our R&D hub in Pune. So including current generation machine, future machines, research and technology, we have a team of around 45, 50 R&D engineers. So they invest time, and more product will be added to this product hub. Then in 27, 28, we started many other activities in Retail India. So today we have the digital development team, global digital development team in Pune, in our global competency center. We have the shared services for almost everything from Pune in our base. So we do global sales, back office support, we do global project management, we do global after sales service. So everything we do it from Pune. I don't go into too much on the other slides, but I want to focus on this slide, which is the last one. Those days it was very difficult. Make in India was not as easy as today. Huh? So there were heavy paperwork, complex inter-ministerial reviews, bureaucracy delays, and we had something called Press Note 1 those days. And this is the reason why we had to wait for 7 years to get a license. Case by case approval, government, if they think, okay, this company is good, approve, otherwise you don't get approval. Absence of, ancillary industries, they were not developed. You don't know from where to develop the sourcing base, not enough R&D, not enough volume and price. These are the few problems which were very acute during those days. I'm talking about 2005 to 2010. Skilled workforce was also not available like today. Then we had no incentive schemes, poor infrastructure. So these were kind of a challenges that we faced in 2006 and 7. But today, if somebody wants to invest, things are much, much easier. Today we have a single window system, because why we know this, we had again tried, because we had, Retail has, investment plans for India. So we tried now how easy it is or how difficult it is today to bring investment. So it appears that it's much easier, very less bureaucracy. There is no red tape today. I must say very proudly. No more FDI norms. 90% of the FDI come through, automatic route. You don't have to go and, sit in the ministry to get approval. MSME sector have emerged so nicely and so greatly that you can develop any MSME to supply parts and components for you. So we have experienced this in the area of Pune, which is actually an automotive sector hub, but we have been able to develop vendors there. Then today we have R&D and quality sensitivity at a very high level. Engineers are able to really develop things which was not the case in 2005 and 6. Good domestic and export demand, the market is helping. Skilled workforce, I think we have to also give credit to all the skill development schemes that are run by several bodies, including government, that we have ample skill resources today. There are incentives like PLI, also for machinery manufacturers, something is, on the cards, and improved infrastructure. So my appeal to the people now, because there are various sectors in downstream where we do not have machines produced in India. So I tell my management, why not get into, say, weaving, or why not get into knitting and start manufacturing in India? But this is a very high level decision which they are not able to take. But there are companies who can venture into investing in India and make these machines available for all our consumers. So we have a couple of such, manufacturers visiting us asking, how did you manage? Then we tell them all this, that this is not very difficult today, you should go ahead. So I would like to just wind up by playing a short 1-minute video which will show how we have developed this facility. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deka. I would also like to take this opportunity to share and also congratulate Reader India Private Limited for winning the India ITME 2025 Technology Awards for the most successful Make in India initiative in the textile engineering sector. Our next speaker is Mr. Amol Monga, Director of Strayfield. Mr. Monga has played a key role in strengthening the company's position as a global leader in radio frequency heating, drying and defrosting technologies, and has focused on driving innovation, engineering excellence and customer-centric solutions across industries such as textiles, food processing, composites and advanced materials. Mr. Amol Monga, please.
Good morning, everyone. This one? Okay. Good morning. Let me start by thanking ITME for inviting me and allowing me to speak here in front of you all. My name is Amol. I represent Strayfield. We make radio frequency drying systems for the yarn dyeing industry specifically, where we help dry yarn in all its formats after it's dyeing. We're also in some other industries, but the idea behind this presentation was to talk about making in India, but also taking it to the world. So not just make in India for India, but make in India for the whole world. And although I don't claim to be an expert on this topic, I hope I can point out a few things I've learned from my small experiences and hopefully leave you with some food for thought. The machine shown here is not what we make. Every image you see here is fake, but thankfully I'm quite real, so this was the easiest way to get the presentation going. So what are the non-negotiables for us to market ourselves or sell our machines or sell any product that we make, not just within India but outside? I think some things are non-negotiable and we should sort of put them in the background now. So yes, your quality needs to be high, our workmanship needs to be world class, the reliability needs to be there, people need to trust you. You should be able to produce the same equipment or the same machine day in, day out, year in, year out, and bring that consistency into your processes. So this is something I guess everyone is already aware of, and I wouldn't like to spend too much time on it, but I call this the entry ticket. This is your first step, and this is the first step that you should focus on if you're getting into this. But what's more important is, I think, what follows next. I come from Pune. We have a two-wheeler culture in my city. Growing up, we used to always be on two-wheelers, and while we are not known for always following all our rules, but we do stop at the traffic light if a police is present. And if you're on your two-wheeler and the guy next to you rides in on a fancier bike, which is much more expensive to look at, which is much better made than yours, the first question after you look him up and down is, "Kitna deti hai?" Which is what everyone does, right? And this is at the core of our belief system. And I'm not sort of belittling it. I think value engineering is amazing. It's India's biggest strength. Our ability to produce not just machines, but equipment, goods, products at a lower price point than anyone else is something that we should take pride in. But I think this is just the anchor for us. And I think we should aspire to do something much more. So if our mission or our aim as our business is to give you the same equipment that someone makes in Germany, but at half the price, then I think we are not doing service to ourselves. I feel before we venture out, and if you're in the process of venturing out and trying to sell what you make outside of India, I think trust comes after the sale and not before the sale. The reason I say this is that if you want to sell your equipment in Nicaragua or Poland or Australia, It's very important that the person sitting over there can pick up a phone and call someone who is within his country, within his geographical region, within his time zone, and is able to access your company's technical knowledge, whether for spare parts, whether for service, or whether just to talk to someone to understand what you're making a lot better. So if you're not a global company with multiple offices all over the world and you want to establish yourself as a global supplier, I think the first step is, even before you say, I want to sell machines in South America, let's have a partner in South America who can represent you. Believe me, it really helps. It builds that trust factor. So before you start selling, let's look for partners who are local to that region, who can help us reach customers in that region. And I believe in something like this, societies like ITME can play a big role. The other thing I think we should aspire to do is not just talk about our products or our machines. The only way to lead or establish ourselves as a reputable brand is to talk about the technology and not just your product. So if you can go to your customers and give them advice, or rather I would say if your customers look at you or your company as someone who can solve their problems and not just give them a machine that dries or weaves or spins or any other process, if they consider you an expert in the area of spinning, in the area of weaving, in the area of drying, or any other process in our industry, then that's where you really establish yourself as a leader. And I think with the tools available to us today through the internet, whether it's through webinars, whether it's through your marketing material, whether through just interactions like this, if we start talking more about the problem we are solving and how we know how to solve that problem better than most people, then the conversation leads to a much better result than just saying, I make XYZ machine for you. So I think if we aspire to do that and position ourselves with knowledge and use the knowledge and experience that we have in this country to represent ourselves as problem solvers and not just as machine builders, I think that will also elevate the discussion and take us further. And I'm going to tie in this and spend a little more time on this because we have limited time here today, but I thought this is the most important slide for me, personally speaking. I've seen in my own little experience across the world, machines that are made in the US, for example, they put it on their machine, a big label, made with pride in the United States of America. Or it's very common to see German products with the color of the flag and it says German engineering. And you'll see this across the world. We have a logo for Made in India, and logos and marketing slogans is not going to solve this problem. I think the problem is a bit deeper. Just putting Made in India is not going to help us, right? The first, because it's very easy to see through it. The first thing we need to solve is have probably some pride in Made in India ourselves. So here's my open question, right? Say you are in the market to buy any product, it doesn't have to be a machine. You're buying a consumer product. And you've done your due diligence, you've figured out that the maximum I can spend on this is 100 rupees because anything beyond 100 rupees does not make sense for my business, right? And you have three options in front of you. One is American, one is European, one is Indian. You've done your due diligence, you've figured out that the Indian product is really good quality, it's got good references, you've heard from 15 people that it gives you the productivity you desire. Would you still pay 100 rupees for it? Or would you expect it at 90? Would you expect it at 80? In my experience, most of us would expect it at 60 or 50 even. And I think this is where we do disservice to ourselves, right? If your business affords it, if your business model makes sense, if the 100 rupees is not something that you would think twice over for spending for Made in Germany, then why do you think twice over when it's Made in India? And unless we as consumers change our mindset, we cannot expect machine manufacturers or Indian engineers or anyone in this ecosystem to actually match up and also say our machines are as good as something made in Germany or made in USA or made anywhere else. So I find this, within me as well. So I'm not saying that I'm above everyone else. It's a common trait across all of us. And I think if we can sort of go back home today and just think about this, whether if all the quality benchmarks are met, would you pay the same amount of money for something made in India versus made in Germany? Then I think people in India will start writing Made in India with a lot more pride. and not just for the customer who's based outside of India, but for the customer who's based in India. When you start forcing the Indian ecosystem to give you a Mercedes at the price of a Maruti, you will always make a Maruti. So unless you as a consumer also change your mindset, you cannot expect the same from the manufacturer. So that's my short presentation. I hope I could highlight a few points. We had very little limited time, but thank you for listening to me, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Monga. Next, all sort of efforts are required for us to move together towards progress as an industry. And in the year, we faced coronavirus and a lot of challenges from 2020 onwards, and utilizing the time we got when other aspects of industry was slow, India ITME Society, along with the industry associations, Textile Machinery Manufacturing Association, the Textile Machinery and Accessory Machinery Manufacturing Association, jointly worked towards preparing an industry study for the textile engineering industry, which would help us understand the current status, the challenges we face, and a vision document for the industry till 2047. May I request Chairman of India ITME Society, Mr. Ketan Sanghvi, to introduce and launch the study for the industry at this forum.
Thank you, Seema. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you once again for attending this session. I know that Bharat Tech's, the time is always very limited and there are so many things to do, so many people to meet. So we are indeed very grateful that you have come to attend this session. Okay. So thank you once again, and fellow speakers, esteemed delegates, as we gathered today for this inspiring and technology-driven session, Make in India Textile Machinery, the US $100 billion opportunity, it gives me immense pleasure to unveil the study, Indian Textile Machinery Sector, Market Analysis and Strategic Assessment, Vision 2047, jointly prepared by the India ITME Society, TMMA, and ITAMA for the benefit of the textile machinery industry in India. This study presents a strategic framework for Vision 2047 designed to help the Indian textile machinery industry overcome the current challenges by leveraging its inherent strengths and adapting to the rapidly evolving global landscape. It encompasses the entire textile machinery ecosystem in India, provides a comparative snapshot of leading competing nations, and outlines a comprehensive strategy for sustainable growth and global competitiveness. So the study offers several key takeaways for stakeholders. For the government and industry, it recommends the development of a strategic roadmap towards 2047, supported by a detailed action plan. For the textile machinery manufacturers, it identifies priority areas such as technology upgradation, technology transfer, establishment of test beds, supply chain restructuring, and the creation of pilot clusters. The report also emphasizes the need for a gradual enhancement of R&D capabilities and the role of the domestic industry, textile industry, as a primary testing and demand base, as well as the importance of supporting export-oriented Indian companies. It advocates stronger co-development initiatives between machinery and textile manufacturers, collaborative R&D efforts, and appropriate government protection and support measures. Finally, the study calls for the alignment of policy and trade instruments, including tariffs, export incentives, special economic zones, taxation, improved access to capital, state-sponsored equity funds, SME-led clusters with fiscal support and innovative financing models for export markets. This is to create an enabling environment for growth. I am confident that the insights and recommendations contained in this report will serve as a guiding beacon for all the stakeholders as we work together to realize the vision of a globally competitive Indian textile machinery sector by 2047. So without further ado, let me unveil the study.
To do the honors, may I request the presence of our very special invitees and speakers, Mr. S. Rajashekharan, President Operations, Lakshmi Machine Works, on stage please. Mr. S. Dadu, Chairman and Founder of Colorjet Group. Ms. Amoli Shah, Director, Prashant Group of Industries. Mr. Sendil Kumar, Honorary Treasurer and Director, Simta Group of Companies. Mr. Avinash Maikar, Managing Director, Suvin Expo LLP, and the moderator for the next panel discussion. Chairman, please join our esteemed guest on dais, and may I request all of you to unveil and relaunch this study. The leaders and visionaries who are driving today's textile engineering industry of India, what better way to, to have this book released for the industry. If anybody requires copies, it is available with us. Please connect with India ITME Society. May I request the guests to take your seat, please. The immediate previous session to this one, which was chaired by Mr. Updeep Singh from Wellspun, and the speakers were Dr. Schindler, Mr. Yuan Perez from ITMF, Mr. Neeraj Jain from Vardhaman, and Mr. Manmohan Singh from Aditya Birla Group, discussed about building capabilities through collaborations, through knowledge sharing, through discussions, and these pointers from very experienced global leaders are important notes for us to keep in mind. A discussion with all the industry people who have probably faced various different kind of challenges and have come out with out of the box solutions to face and overcome the hurdles. It could be anything, policies, labor, shortages, resources, and everything. So discussion is an important step for growth and progresses. And our next panel discussion has the leaders who are role models, innovators, entrepreneurs, and we hope to learn and take away new mantra and motivation for our own efforts towards success and growth in this particular industry. The panel discussion is moderated by Mr. Avinash Maikar, and we have the panelist, Mr. S. Rajashekharan, President Operations Lakshmi Machine Work Limited. We have Mr. Dadu, Chairman of Colorjet India Limited. Ms. Amoli Shah, representing the female strength in the whole panel. Director, Prashant Group of Industries. Mr. Ketan Sangvi, Director, Lakshmi Shuttleless Looms. And Mr. Senthil Kumar, Managing Director, Simta Group of Companies. And also joining the team is Mr. Prashant Deka, Managing Director, Riter India Private Limited, and Mr. Amol Munga, Director, Sray Fields. The stage and the mic is yours.
Thank you, Seema Madam. Thank you all for joining here. In fact, you can see the way we are going ahead as far as the Indian textile machinery manufacturing industry is concerned. The stone was laid by our Prime Minister as Make in India way back in 2014. Thereafter, today we are talking about what are the emerging challenges, how we successfully Riter people have done the Make in India efforts. Of course, we have also so many other initiatives which have been done in Make in India. But the machinery manufacturing of textile industry is not only talking about the foundation stone or today discussing about what has happened in past 12 years, but we also have vision document for 2047, thanks to India ITME Society, TMMA and ITAMMA for taking this study. Of course, I am delighted that I was part of it. Now, when we are talking of this particular panel discussion, which is on emerging trends and how things are going to happen in future and where are we right now. So I would like to first bring in LMW, always very prominent opening batsman for all of us for the machinery industry from India. So Mr. Rajashekharan, what do you think about the development of ecosystem which you have done for spinning industry way back when you founded it? Now, what are your advices? We know that you have done exceedingly well as far as LMW spinning industry is concerned, but what are your advice or how you can guide the other ecosystem which can be developed for other machines which are coming from the complete value chain of textile machinery?
Good morning to one and all, and thank you. First, let me give a preamble of how LMW became successful in this. As usual, for LMW 3, 6 and 9 are very lucky numbers, so I will list out just 9 points for this overall, and that will give the answers for you as well, sir. One is the unwavering attention of management. I'll keep my time also. That's the unwavering attention of management. See, 5 generations. It started with GKD, Mr. DJ, then the current chairman, Mr. Sanjay, and it's going to Mr. Jaydev. So one, how have we focused on our internal manufacturing? We were not satisfied with the just assembly of the imported parts. So if we are going to take that forward, let us not stop with the assembly of imported parts. How do we make the high precision parts inside our factory? How do we assemble it? How do we upskill our workers? How do we automate whatever is being done routine? So those are with respect to the manufacturing. But before we go into manufacturing, how do we set up the whole ecosystem around us, all the stakeholders around us? The ecosystem overall, when we started, it was a challenge. We started with our own foundry, then we developed our own manufacturers. But thanks to all the automotive and all the other industries, the ecosystem is much more precise and It has been fully developed. But are we satisfied with it? Unless otherwise we have our own R&D, it is going to be, then you have to depend upon somebody else for the, for your technology. Then how, LMW, how we have done is that we have done cross-sector diversification, means we have our own MTD, we have our own ETC. Is it to supply to our TMD? No. The competence development all around these has helped us a lot. I will stop with that. I'm not going to cover all the 9. So.
Okay. Now, question to you, because as a consultant when I was working 25 years back, I saw that your technology and the foreign technology which was coming over here, there was a tremendous gap of almost 2 times the productivity. What R&D facilities have helped you, how they have helped you in bringing in this particular change, and now you are at par with the foreign technology. So what is your take on that?
Yes, sir. We have focused, see, we have set up our R&D after we decided to go on our own. Even before that we started our R&D, but that was on a very limited level. But now we have an R&D setup of around 250 engineers with various disciplines. It can be into metals, it can be into aerodynamics, it can be into mechatronics. So we have set up our R&D, and mainly we listen to our customers. The voice of customers reverberates into us in full. We absorb it in full and develop back. And are we satisfied with the overall just what they state? No. What is their hidden needs? What is their intrinsic challenges that they face? That's what we have resolved with our own R&D, and we have a very good intellectual property rights also with us. So that has helped us build this, and today we can say that we can, I don't want to state that as second to none, we are best and better than all the foreign manufacturers as well.
Okay, thank you. Dear friends, here we have complete value chain of machinery over here. Now, always we talk first with spinning because we are proud of them, and also we are proud of our own country as a spinner. But always we should admire the people who have gone at the last fag end of the value chain. Colorjet, Mr. Dadu is also over here. So Mr. Dadu, what policy interventions which are required by you now, because you are already established as a digital printing machinery manufacturer, what was your journey, what challenges you have faced, and what points you would like to give as a token of advice to all of us?
So no, first of all, it is not an advice, it is an experience based on which you can take decision on what you want to go ahead with. We have to understand that the capital goods or the machines go hand in hand with the textile industry itself. The growth of the textile industry in India cannot succeed without the growth of the capital goods or the machines which they use in their industry. We have seen that in the past, manufacturing, first of all, as such, has not been a priority for the government for past many years, except for, let's say, a few years in the maybe 5-10 years. Secondly, in the textile industry itself, the capital goods have been limited to very few sectors. And LMW, for example, is one of those sectors where the capital goods industry has changed. But there is a need to change all that, and without the support of the government, this cannot happen. So, talking about the policy interventions, first is the government has to treat the machinery industry on similar lines as they treat the user industry. For example, there are many benefits and incentives announced for the textile industry, but we should also get the similar benefits. For example, it is in the case of land allotment, for example, or PLI schemes that they come out with, or any interest subvention scheme, which they come out for the user industry. So similar policies should also apply to the textile capital goods. Unfortunately, we are not part of directly the Ministry of Textiles, but MHI, which becomes a constraint. But of late, the Ministry of Textiles has been helping us on that. Second thing is, you see in India, the capital goods industry for textile is in a very initial stages for most of the sector, except for spinning and weaving. Because there is no ecosystem for it. For example, at ColorJet India, when we started, we found that we could not find the right suppliers who could deliver the quality that we wanted and the right time and safety of our designs. So we did something which normally no one will do, and we had to do backward integration and go on sectors where we had no expertise, but out of compulsion. For example, a powder coating plant or a plant to do simple sheet metal things. So a lot of energy and resource had to be employed for those areas where actually we could have focused more our own core technology. So an ecosystem is not there. Second, there is an inverted duty structure in many of the cases. The finished goods for example, digital printers, it's classified as a zero duty or a very low duty, whereas many components required to make these products have a customs duty. And you know the customs, they don't agree to whatever you may say. So, and most of us are from the MSME industry, so we have to pay those duties. And so this is one of the inverted duty structures, another problem. Third thing is the EPCG scheme. It's a very good scheme for the industry where they can import capital goods and they have to export, they have a liability to export some 8 years, 8 times the duty saved. But if you do the calculation, you will find that buying a imported machine today is cheaper than buying a machine for the same price from an Indian manufacturer. This is very surprising for many of us. It was even surprising to our Honorable Minister when I personally brought it up to him. So when we supply, even against an EPCG license, we are considered as deemed export. When it is deemed exports, we do not get any duty drawback. Someone has to pay the GST, which is 18%. So it's a cash flow issue. Of course, there's a refund which can come, but there's a cash flow issue. And if we do not supply against an EPCG, he has to pay GST for which he does not get a refund. So the textile industry itself does not want to buy domestic goods because they have a cash flow that 18% gets stuck and they do not know how they will recover that 18%. Whereas when they buy an imported goods, it's just a bond that they give for the amount. So it's not cash going out of their money. So this is a very important factor. Some schemes which benefit, we have to see whether they have a negative impact on any other industry. Sorry, I'll take 2 more minutes because okay. I think third is anti-dumping. We know from our neighboring countries, there has been an issue of anti-dumping, lot of low price, very low invoice capital goods coming into our country. You'll be surprised, and in some cases we find the cost of the machine is less than our raw material cost. So this is something which DGTR, which is the Trade Remedies Department, I think they will look into, and we also must approach them for this. Third thing, we need some support from the government on prototype developments, because this is an expensive exercise for any of the industry. So development of the prototype is more important. We don't have very high capital costs, so we need some prototype development support where schemes like NTTM can help us, and the government funds a part of it. And then the government has to ensure that the public sector units or the government related institutes like educational institutes buy the first prototype, because we need to test it live in the industry before we go and sell it to an actual customer. Third, like my young friend mentioned, it is really tough to sell to an Indian customer. If we say it is an Indian company, he'll want it for free. He said 60%, but he says, no, you put the machine over here for free. If it works, I'll pay you after some time. So that trust and patience of the customers is also required. So we had to take the hard way in this case, because when we found that this is happening, this is more than 20 years back, I started this about 30 years back. And so we had to export. I have 3 cases where I had to export the machine to a neighboring country and the customer was happy to buy from it. You can assume the kind of policies and these factors which have happened. But things are much better now. So you don't have to really worry about that. Much better. We have customers, we sell to 23 countries. We have machines installed in 23 countries, which means this is the way we have tried to prove to our Indian customers that, okay, machine produced in India will work. So please have trust and some patience, which I think it's not The government can do something about it, but I would request the government to go to the user industry and educate them about it. So, and fourth, of course, is the supply chain, which we have already represented to the government, that all the supply chains, if they can support our supply chains, we can make an ecosystem or a cluster where these machines can be made. I
Okay.
think that's my 2 cents on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, now one sub question to you, because I was lucky to visit your manufacturing facility. I have seen that you are having some machines which you work for the R&D activities. At the same time, I know that it is sustainable to go for digital printing. Do you think India is having that particular, affection towards sustainability as all the European and all developed countries are talking of? And are we geared up for that?
So I think I was in a meeting with yesterday, and most of the users were there. Sustainability is no longer a choice, it's a compulsion. Anyone, especially who want to export his goods, he has to have not only what he uses, but the process as a sustainable process. So I think for the exports, sustainability is today not something that they can say we do not have it or we are working on it. Yes, for the domestic industries, there are still, they can sell some products and they find the compliances are easier. But I think even as our individual responsibility, not only to the society, we have to ensure that we leave for our next generations the nature that we have got. So I think this is a personal and also a social obligation for all of us.
Yeah, thank you. Amoli, sorry, usually it is ladies first, but I am coming to you as a third speaker because you are also having very good machines from Prashant Group of Industries. Again, I was lucky to visit their facility as well. And then I found that it is not Indian standard. These are all European standards which you have made up in your factory. So how can India become globally competitive, looking at your experience in textile machinery for exports especially? What are the trade agreements, how they are helping us? And then what are the incentives which are there for exports within India? And then how do you take care of the quality certifications? Can you just elaborate on this? Thank you.
First, Mr. Avinashi, I would like to say that we are talking about this $100 billion textile machinery industry. Currently, the global trade is about, especially for textile machinery, I'm not including accessories, it is around 30 billion. And major share is taken by China, followed by Germany and Japan. And I think India's share for textile machinery is less than 10%. So there is huge gap and lot of things needs to be done. So let's first start with these bilateral trade agreements. Currently, India is having, I think, 15 plus active trade agreements. But if we focus on last 3-4 years, so there is a trade agreement between India and New Zealand, India and Australia, India and UK, and recent one between EU. So when we talk about textile machinery, probably New Zealand or Australia, they are not textile manufacturer. So maybe we can get benefit like other in food industry or other industry. But as a textile machinery manufacturer, I don't think that will be very helpful. It will be really interesting to see how India-EU trade agreement will benefit, because I think within next 10 years, more than 90% product there will be reduced tariff or no tariff. So I think we should definitely utilize that opportunity. When we talk about incentives, again for textile machinery, I would say duty drawback is one of the important thing, where we get the duty refund for the imported goods when we export that product and we utilize that machinery. But in our case, that value comes around 1.4%, so which is not much. When we talk about RODTEP, like remittance of duty and taxes on exported product, that value also come around 1%. And most of the cases, I think they will agree with me that it is between 0.5 to 1.5%, so it's not much. There is another scheme that is Market Access Initiative, which is also a good scheme. When we participate in trade shows or exhibitions, whatever expenditure we done, certain portion is refunded by government. So that help exploring new markets. But really when I compare this with China, Suppose they are getting 13% VAT refund directly when they export to any other countries. So that is major gap. On top of it, they are getting state subsidies and central subsidies, and probably for their R&D expenditure, they are getting 200%
Okay.
refund. So that is a huge thing. Another thing, when we talk about quality certification, so of course we should have ISO 9001 certification, but as a Prashant Group, we are exporting to 55 countries worldwide, and including USA, North America, South America, Europe, and few products going to China also.
Okay, great.
I mean, so most of the places, I think CE certification is good enough. For Europe, it is mandatory. Turkey is mandatory. For UK, there is also another certification, like UKCL certification. For USA, there is UL certification. But my experience is, like when we export to even USA, if you have CE certification, most of the customer, they do recognize, and that is good enough. Another thing I think that's I would like to discuss with your permission. There was a BIS certification which is withdrawn due to obvious reason we know. But I think, see, when it protects the Indian manufacturer because it creates some barrier.
Yeah.
See, when we export to Europe, like this CE certification is not easy. I mean, there are a lot of compliances. You have to take care of lot of things, documentation. So same way, when there is a BIS certification, that will create barrier for other manufacturer to import in India. And probably that should be reviewed, and probably when there is Indian manufacturer available, they are providing machine of good quality, BIS should be there.
Okay.
That is my opinion.
Fine, fine.
So these are the external factors we talk about. If I have 1 minute, I would...
Please.
Okay. So these will definitely help for export. But I think most important thing as a machinery manufacturer, we can go with two approach. Either you build the scale, you use the economy of scale, and you provide the product which are economical, or we are taking the second approach. Your product has to be smarter, automated, faster, and sustainable. So you need to use AI. You need to make sure that your product use less labor. That is the way to go.
Okay.
Because we are talking about dark factory in China and things like that. So I think it's time we have to invest heavily on R&D, and we have to go with that.
Okay, thank you. Next question is to Ketan Bhai. As she has done the weaving preparatory part, you have to do the weaving part of it. So how can India reduce its dependency on imported textile machinery? That is question one. And what key steps are needed to achieve this?
Okay, so, first of all, just a brief explanation of the situation. If we look at the domestic requirement of the textile industry, I think imports probably take up about 75%. Maybe the figures are a little here and there. And I think the domestic supply normally covers up around 25%, probably a ratio of 3:1. Maybe over the years there is some variation. I see that there is some improvement in the domestic share which is happening, but still not enough. That is one. Second, I think is that interesting fact, we always thought that weaving machines were the favorite whipping boys of the industry, but it seems now there is a new target, and I am told that, correct me if I am wrong, Daduji, that digital printing or printing equipment now, kind of caters to almost 36% of all imports. So, which is a very surprising figure, and also it should act as an impetus not only to Daduji but also to other manufacturers who have, dreams of setting up units of this area. We talk about weaving, and we see that weaving is close to around maybe 20% of the import requirement, and amongst all the, if you talk about all the entire industry, China supplies almost close to 50% of the entire industry requirement. So this is the brief scenario. Let's look at a few structural points that I could think of as far as the industry is concerned. One of them is basically scale and capital. So we have in India mostly about 3,000 to 3,500 MSME units, manufacturing textile machinery as well as components and accessories. A few of them are like LMW of global scale, and now also we have the global majors also setting up shop and factories within the country. So, but most of the units are, they don't have the financial muscle or the intellectual muscle to the scale of the global majors. So this is one basic issue which is a concern. Second, one looks at the depth of the supply chain. We see in a lot of areas that people claim that these machines are all made in India, 100% made in India, but you go one layer down the technology stack and you suddenly find that a lot of the automation components, let's say servo motors, sensors, precision bearings, a lot of these products are all imported. And then we start wondering that what is this indigenization all about? Are we simply assembling products that we are importing? So the depth of the supply chain is also one concern. We also look at, let's say, the policy-wise, let's say there are schemes for incentives for setting up units, PLI, TUFs, and other schemes are there. But a lot of these schemes are indifferent to the source of the product, whether it is imported, whether it is domestic. The scheme doesn't really make any difference. It will simply incentivize the unit for buying or importing any product, whether it is imported or domestically made. One more thing that I can think of is basically the inverted duty structure that Daduji spoke about. We see this in weaving, and I think we've been trying to struggle a lot to explain or get our point across. And for example, I think shuttleless looms since the last probably 3 years have been, been allowed to import with zero duty, as well as, the loom manufacturers who are making these and have to import some components. Their products are, their components are liable to a basic customs duty of around 7.5%. So this means that, see, this has a this is like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you talk about going to countries and companies and requesting them to invest within the country, make in India. Now, which company is going to invest in a manufacturing facility if they find out that manufacturing here is actually more expensive than importing? I remember I was at the same meeting with Daduji in a ministry meeting in Delhi, and there was I think embroidery machine maker who wanted, and a Japanese company, and they went through the exercise of calculating the costs of setting up a factory and manufacturing in India and compare it to the cost of producing in Japan. And the shocking statement that came from him is they found out that the cost of manufacturing and selling within India was double the price of manufacturing in Japan and then selling in India, which was quite a shocker. And maybe one more factor is that the companies that sell abroad have access to, let's say, very low tenure and cost of finance, long tenure, low cost loans, which I think most of the Indian manufacturers don't have access to.
Right.
I don't know if there is time to address the solutions, but there are definitely solutions to this, but due to the paucity of time,
please.
I will yield.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We have done capital goods. People have already been interviewed and they have expressed themselves. Let's come to the one more major, you can say, business activity, which is our accessory and spare part business. So I would like to ask Mr. Senthil Kumar to you that when is it right strategy, which of course we are also given in our study report, that why not to supply the accessory to the reputed brands which are in the developed countries and start in understanding their business. Of course, most of you are already doing it, and then we can start developing the complete machines.
Good afternoon. See, your question contains answer also. We are already doing that because the accessories manufacturers in India, either they are supplying to domestic machinery manufacturers or international machinery manufacturers who are selling their machines in India as well as entire globe. The point is, we should concentrate, the accessories I am talking about, we should concentrate on innovation in the accessories and the cost pressure from manufacturers from India as well as overseas. Due to the cost pressure, normally we do compromise the quality. Instead, we should concentrate on quality and we should aim for global market, like the scaling up. In Indian accessories market is the quality of the capacity and capability of Indian accessories sector is very good, but we are not able to have a vision that our market is only limited to India. We should have a vision that the market should be global. Then our entire ecosystem will get changed. So we should focus that our market is global, like China. Chinese people always think that market is global market. If they are producing accessory, for example, 100 sets per month, they are thinking 1,000 sets per month. So the entire system gets changed. So our vision should get changed that we should supply to the world, not only to the India. Same way, we should start from beginning, like what is, Mr. Rashir said, we should hear from the customer. Whatever the customer says, we should take it into our mind and adopt the change in your product. This is very, very important. The accessories business in India is very nice, but we should change our mindset. We should focus on global market, not only India. So this is point number one. The other question you asked? It is very right strategy, but no, definitely capital goods. The people will come once we have an ecosystem of accessories, complete accessories in India. All the global manufacturers will definitely come, like automobiles. Automobile was the biggest example for that. All these accessories manufacturers of automobile industry, most of 50-60% they are outsourcing from MSMEs. So, and maybe we will talk later, second round.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just taking a last question, which is common for all of you. What is the one thing which we should do in order to be competitive in the global market? Just in one word. I can start with Mr. Senthil Kumar.
No, I was confident in the paper.
What is the one thing which we should do to be competitive in the global market? Just in one word.
One word, aiming for the global market.
Actually, we have been already doing it. Focus on all the markets, the needs of the different countries or the markets is different. With that, you will be able to develop the overall technology.
Okay,
So
thank you. Amoli?
Be customer-centric.
Customer-centric, okay. Ketan bhai?
I think the focus is definitely on the customer.
Customer, okay. Daduji?
Never lose focus on the quality of the product
Quality.
and the innovation in technology.
Okay, great. Mr. Monga?
I would say just 2 words, aspiration and R&D.
Yeah. Mr. Deka?
Customers, flexibility and specific customer needs, yes.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the audience, please? Please introduce yourself and ask question. We will take only 3 questions. Who is the second one? You can just raise the hand. We are already time-wise, we are constrained.
First of all, thanks for I'm Sudhir Mehani, I'm from Kamoji Group. And first of all, thanks to Daduji and who have brought the visibility on the sustainability. There's a famous quote like that, digitalization is the brain and the sustainability is the heart. So we all have a target of we all know that digitalization and your sustainability, if we come together, we will be deciding the future of the manufacturing. But now in a challenge, all the textile industries, they have to show the compliance toward the SDG goals. In the textile scenario, we have a goals number 6 is there, 7 is there, 8 is there, 6 goals are there. And out of a global ranking of 193 countries, we are standing at 121 rank at the moment. So where we are lacking on this, what textile industry should focus on that? Anyone can answer that.
Mr. Dadu?
This is purely my personal view. I think it is our own self-belief which is not letting us make the products which are sustainable. We end up decreasing the cost of the products and losing on the compliances. So if it is costing you more to make a product which is more sustainable, please, we must all do that. So we should start believing that we can do it, and then there is no dearth of innovation, engineering expertise in India, and we can all do it over here, for sure. And we can be among the top sustainable solutions provider for the world.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, please, sir.
See, I appreciate all the viewpoints of the eminent speakers on the dais. My 2 cents on that additional is that I think as a country, as a total industry ecosystem, I think we lack that vision to really be a global leader in textile engineering. I think everything starts from that thought or from that aspiration, so to say. And once we as an industry, that includes the user industry and the engineering industry, go with a template to the government that, this is where we want to go and these are the roadblocks and this is how the government should help. And we from our part commit to this to get there. Yeah. I think the whole ecosystem can be brought together.
Most of the things are here in vision document. You can just go through this and then we are going to give our suggestions also to government on this. Any other question, please? Okay. Anybody else? Otherwise, I have a question again to all panelists. What is the one machine which India should produce, which they have not yet produced or yet we have not explored that, which can help the industry? Mr. Dadu, you can start.
I think something which is so easy to make in India and so many imports are happening is the simple sewing machine.
Okay.
See, India has a lot of...
Okay. Mr. Deka?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with Mr.
Any
Dadu.
other machine?
The next, I think we should have most of these, printing we already have. I think in the downstreams, I don't know specifically.
Okay.
It could be any of the downstream machines, like flat knitting, for example.
Flat knitting, okay.
Yeah.
Amol?
I wouldn't have too much to say on this. I rely on people with more experience.
Okay, fine. Ketan bhai?
One looks at garmenting machines and the degree of complexity is not, apparently so much as, let's say, setting up a high-end spinning solution,
yeah,
or a high-end weaving solution or a weaving prep solution. So I think maybe garment machinery seems to be slightly lower hanging fruit.
Okay. Amoli?
I think I do agree. I think we are lacking on ready-made-ups because we have spinning, weaving, processing, but garmenting we are lacking,
okay,
so probably that will help.
Fine. Rajsekhar?
I don't want to repeat what they said because we are very much lacking in the wet processing, overall, so we should be focusing on it.
Fine. Mr. Senthil Kumar?
There is only one machine required for all entire textile science, that is a robo, which can take care of, all kind of multitasks.
Okay. Why we are not talking of knitting? Because I think world is now going towards more knitted goods. and not yet explode in India as far as machinery segment is concerned. So, okay, even technical textiles, that is also we are growing with 12 to 13% with CAGR. Why not to consider that? Okay, that's it. I just like to recap everything sorry for the time extension. So we have remarkable speakers. Most of the things they have already said in whatever where their experiences. We have exporters, countries, almost 50 plus countries they are exporting. We have very good market share, more than 50% from some companies. And then they have expressed their will to be there as a very strong supporters. But what we want is the gaps, how we can fill up these gaps in Make in India and how we can take advantage of it. And for that, I think all we had discussed a lot many things. One of that, the major one, which I think was you have to keep your ears open. Understand what your customer is saying. Maybe customers would be saying to LMW that please go ahead with the value addition so that we can get other machines as well. So thank you very much all of you, and now mic is yours, Simaji.
Thank you for giving the mic back to me. Yeah.
We didn't get the second chance.
All right, all right. So, first of all, I know that the questions have been cut short because of lack of time, but also that means that the session was extremely interesting, and I thank each of the speakers for sharing wholeheartedly the honest opinions, because it's always a learning experience. For the audience, thank you so much for the patient hearing. I always feel that when we organize this kind of sessions, the time is always short, and everybody does not get the opportunity to probably ask questions or participate as they would like and as we would like. But I also feel that active participation is extremely important for opening minds, bringing in new ideas, and also usher in new opportunities. As India ITME Society, you know that we are given the responsibility of organizing such events and activities to stimulate the industry, to support the growth of the industry. So please feel free to email us on the topics you want discussions on. You want seminars or training programs or workshops, because our sole purpose is facilitating these kind of thinking and activities. Along with our fellow associations like TMMA, ITAMA, CITI, BIS, we will make an effort to create more and more such platforms where more interactions from your end can happen. I also take this opportunity to invite all of you to the upcoming event in India ITME 2026, which is in December, almost 5 to 6 months from today. And again, we have very, very, I would say, mind-opening knowledge sessions, and global leaders are speaking, including Dr. Schindler, who is here today. And we look forward to also have more interactive sessions there. It is a 6-day event, so there will be more opportunities, and please do register and come. And during that event, there is also the Technology Awards for the year 2026, which is open for application. And please feel free to apply. There is award sessions for the students, for the manufacturing companies, and I would request another 4 or 5 minutes more of your time. Can we have the AV for both the event and the awards?
ITME 2026, where innovation meets excellence. the India International Textile and Machinery Exhibition Society, or the India ITME Society, is on a bold mission to revolutionize the Indian textile engineering industry by fostering knowledge exchange, enabling cutting-edge technology transfer, and attracting global investments. We are shaping the future of textiles in India and beyond. For over 45 years, India ITME Society has reigned as the premier exhibition body in India for textile machinery, accessories, and components. With 11 trailblazing editions, our legacy is built on propelling the Indian textile and textile engineering industry to the global stage, consolidating India's position as a true industry leader. Now, the future beckons with India ITME Next 2026, an unparalleled event. Mark your calendars, December 4th to 9th, 2026.